that because of him, the two of us have really changed the course of our lives to this goal of taking these two legacies, perhaps the two most important legacies of social change in the 20th century, and seeing if these, by building on these legacies and globalizing them, that we could strengthen the global movement for human rights and social justice. So, Prasad, I think that you have not only changed my life, but have opened up a lot of new possibilities for all the people who are on the screen. So thank you for all your past contributions, but I know that it's not done yet. So why don't I give you the floor, and you can maybe describe some of the things you have in mind. I think you're still muted, Prasad.
Yeah. Good morning. Clay, Elisa, Truman, and other friends. It's a great pleasure and honor for me, and it becomes somewhat autobiographical if I have to talk now. And it takes me back into a lot of years, which Clay was mentioning. And as I was in the Gandhian movement and work here in India, I was always accosted by various questions which are more on the negative side, criticizing Gandhi, and then I had gone a little deep into that as to the whole society cannot be wrong, but one person may be wrong. Gandhi may be wrong. So as I was going through that, so a little intellectually and analytically, so discussing with people and all that, I could realize that the Gandhian movement in India, it is more or less confining Gandhi to 1948, the year when he was assassinated. That means he is being made a piece in a museum. He was revered because he was the father of the nation, then fought for the Indian freedom. But I was not comfortable with that kind of an approach. So how Gandhi's relevance today can be seen, how we can apply that to our own lives. This was my concern. So that's where it is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who brought the contemporary relevance of Gandhi to the forefront. What Gandhi did in South Africa to fight for the rights of Indians in 1906, exactly the same thing, similar thing was done by Dr. King in 1955. You can absolutely draw corollary between the Montgomery bus boycott movement and the Satyagraha in South Africa. In fact, what I'm surprised about is some of the sentences are exactly the same. The feelings are the same, strategy was the same, everything. And I was really very strongly feeling that Gandhi is incomplete without King. And King is an extension of Gandhi. Sometimes people, they would like to show their personality separately, but I am not interested in that. It is one and the same. It is the peace, non-violence and justice, the civil rights, the human rights. That's what both of them stood for. So the understanding for me is unless we study King, you cannot understand Gandhi. Then what Gandhi did in South Africa, that is in the eastern part of the world, King did it in the western part. So King's work has decimated or totally removed the time and space dimensions of what Gandhi did. So King proved that what Gandhi did in the East can be done in the West also. What Gandhi did in 1906, exactly 50 years later, the same thing was done. So anytime the technique of Satyagraha, the non-violent resistance, is relevant. So it is beyond time and space, and this credit goes to Dr. King. Then Gandhi was not born into a problem. Whereas King was born into a problem, Gandhi only invoked the problem upon himself. He behaved as if he is an untouchable. He took upon him all the problems of the society. But whereas King was born into the problems, so I find always when I read Dr. King, his expressions are extremely profound, extremely touching. So it is for me, it is one of the same or two sides of the same coin. But when I use the word Gandhi, it is not the human being Gandhi that I always refer to, but I think of King, Mandela, Cesar Chavez, and all those people who worked for peace and non-violence in the world, a just world. It is a total philosophy and work together I visualize in the word Gandhi. It is not the just human being Gandhi, but it is a total philosophy at work. Then my journey started, like Clay was saying, about a dozen years ago, to be very precise, in 19, not, no, no, I'm sorry, 2004. It is 1904, that is Gandhi's South African days. So my work here started in the 2004 when I visited Stanford on the invitation of Professor Syed Sharik. And I would like to show some pictures and certain other things so that it can be a little convenient for all of you to visit. So can you please allow me to share, Elisa?
You should be able to now.
Right, thank you very much. In fact, Truman and Elisa had been always extremely helpful in every single situation. Thank you very much.
Now I should be helpful too.
Yes. Now I should press this. It is all like adult education for us. This computer technology and all that. So is it opening?
But you just have to go to the right screen on your computer.
Yeah. Yes.
Just choose the screen you want.
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
So this is Stanford, with which my association started. And of course, the Gandhi King Global Initiative. And this was the picture in 2004. The person next to me is Syed Sharik, the professor in Stanford. And next to him is Jairam Komati. Maybe the faces and all that may be looking slightly different. Jairam Komati was really so helpful to us in organizing the Gandhi King conference. And virtually all these people, Satish Chilkuri and Venkat Madhipati, they were all part of the Gandhi King conference that we had in 2019. Then they have introduced me, Syed Sharik introduced me to Professor Carson, the Martin Luther King Jr. Institute. At that time, Clarence Jones was also there as a scholar in residence. I used to meet, I was coming frequently and meeting all these people and discussing. Then another very interesting and important thing is the King Conference, which was held in 2011. And so wonderful it was. It was like a feast, one of the state-of-the-art kind of things, and many people who were associated with Dr. King were there to speak and share their experiences. And Dr. Sriram Swanti was there, then Mary Elizabeth King was there. Then this is Dr. Surabhaneni from Canada, he also was there. So I was meeting with John Lewis. Then this is our great friend, Ramakrishna Rao, with our lady from Ithaca who accompanied Dr. King to Oslo to receive
Dorothy
the Nobel
Dorothy, her name is Dorothy Cotton.
Dorothy Cotton. So I had the pleasure of meeting her. Then I went to Ithaca to meet her. Then this is my wife, Dr. Kranti. In fact, she is the great support and she is a guiding spirit for me. Then we had been to the Meta Center, close association with Professor Michael Legler, then our great friend. So in fact, they're all very much learning opportunities I had with all these people. Then of course, my great pleasure to be with Susan and Clay, Kranti. And then Clay visited Racine in Wisconsin. Then there was a conference where, in fact, the whole discussion is about war is not the answer. And this is when I went to Ithaca to meet Dorothy Cotton. She gave me this booklet from that. Then we came forward to what happened in between is that in 2018, Clay got the Jamnalal Bajaj Award, a very prestigious award in India, and it is given for promoting Gandhian values outside India. In fact, it had been a great honor for me too, because I had known him, I had been associated with him. And then here I should tell you that when the King Conference took place, which I was mentioning, I asked Clay, why don't we organize a Gandhi King Conference like an innocent child? Because I thought, why don't we have a conference like that? Then he smiled at me and said, yes, we can do, but we need money for that. And who will give money? The university won't pay much, but we have to raise money. So he was mentioning something like $50,000 we need. And I'm just a visitor to the United States. I don't have any locus standi. I don't have that kind of base to raise money. But when Clay got this Jamnalal Bajaj Award, because that is very, very significant award, and that in fact boosts your own personality, your stature, and it was also 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. So I took again a little bit of courage, started talking to people, and ultimately on the 1st of March 2019, March 1st, we had this meeting in the King Institute. You could see a lot of people whom you know very much. They're all there, like Paul is there, Kay, that is Paul's wife, is there, Dr. Sriram Sonti, Sharada Sonti, then David Kirschbaum, then Prasad Thotukura, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad. All these people were there, and even Pancho also was there. Then this is the happy smiles of all the people, where it was declared that we'll have a Gandhi King Global Initiative, and that's how it started. And a decision was taken that we should organize a Gandhi King Conference in October, that is 11 to 11, 12, 13, and some initial donations started coming. So there is some kind of strong feeling. Then this is the outside our institute, the King Institute, all the people who assembled pose for a picture. And then after that happened in the Peter Marisburg, we went, and the 7th June is a very historic and interesting, important day when Gandhi was evicted from the first class train. It is Dr. Sriram Sonti who had been insisting that we should promote that date, because 2nd October is Gandhi's born, but the real transformation of Gandhi took place on 7th June when he was evicted from the first class train compartment at this particular train station. So we all went there, and the Indian Consul General, Indian High Commissioner, all these people were there. And this is a spot where Gandhi was evicted. A plaque was put there where it is written, Gandhi's active non-violence started from the date. So on that occasion last year, I was doing the keynote address there. These are all the participants. And then we went to the Phoenix settlement, which is the first community ashram where the Satyagrahis or non-violent resistors were trained, and they used to live with Ela Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi's granddaughter, who was also there in our conference. And this is the International Printing Press, which was founded by Mahatma Gandhi in the Phoenix settlement. And this is Tolstoy farm. In fact, this was the house where Gandhi was living, but it was raised to the ground. And this is where in the Tolstoy farm. And then Mandela and Gandhi photo exhibition and other exhibits were there. This is in Johannesburg. And this is Mohan Bhai, who was another great person. They're all doing wonderful work in South Africa. What I feel is it is only in South Africa Gandhi became a Mahatma. Had it not been South Africa, perhaps we would not have known Gandhi. Therefore, South African connection is most important, and that's how we had been working with this South Africa. And we also visited the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Then this was in the June 2019. Then in July, the next month, we have sent from India a group of 8 people to visit South Africa to participate in a Gandhi Mandela Youth Symposium. These are all the people who went from India for that one. They met Ela Gandhi at Phoenix settlement, and this is the train station where Gandhi was evicted. They went there. And of course, in September, early September, I met the Professor Anthony Farrell. And Anthony Farrell has written a book on Hindu Swaraj, that is Hindu Swaraj and other writings. And I always say that if you want to understand Gandhi, you must read Hindu Swaraj, and if you want to understand Hindu Swaraj, you should read Anthony Perel. In fact, my analysis, my understanding of Gandhi had been mostly influenced by him, and I had been really eager to meet him. I met him several times, and he is 94 years of age now, and he lives in Calgary in Canada. And his daughter participated in the Gandhi King conference with us because he could not travel, he could not come. He said, "I am sending my daughter." Then Clay and all of us, about a dozen people, we went to the Nobel Peace Summit, which took place in Merida in Mexico. It is between 19th to 22nd September. It is the 7th World Summit of the Nobel Peace Laureates. It was a great experience, and we have done a workshop on non-violence in concept and application. Here Clay was talking, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, Dr. Swanti, myself, we're all there. And this is a group which participated in our workshop. It had been a beautiful experience for all of us. So very happy smiles from all the people. And it is Professor Isao Takagi from Japan, Soka University, and he was the resource person in the recent webinars, international webinars we had been organizing. And this is Maria from the Anahak University in Merida. And now she's in regular contact with us. And in fact, they invited us to come to Merida to conduct series of workshops. Clay, Dr. Swanti, myself, and others were supposed to go, but it is COVID which prevented us from going to all these places. And then in Merida's, this is the youth summit they held. After youth summit, there was a regular program. This is all the Nobel Peace. It was like a feast to see so many Nobel Peace Laureates at one single place and listen to them. It was really fantastic speeches, and it was very inspiring with a lot of information and all that. Then Clay ourselves, that is about Dr. Swanti, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, we met Ekaterina. She is the president of the Nobel Peace Summit. In spite of she being extremely busy, she could take out about half an hour's time to spend with us, and we discussed a lot of things with her, how to collaborate with the Nobel Summit, Stanford, the GKJ, how can we work together. We discussed with her. Then we met several Nobel Peace Laureates. This is De Klerk, former president of South Africa. Then this is Tawakkal Karman from Yemen. She is also a youngest Nobel Peace Laureate. Then Kailash Satyarthi from India, who also is a Nobel Peace Laureate. Like that, we could meet so many people. And after the September event, we now go to the October event, that is 11, 12, 13, the Stanford, our conference, Gandhi King conference, and this is arrangements being made. And of course, the Jairam Committee, and these are all people who really organized and helped the conference. Then on 2nd October, which is Gandhi Jayanti, we celebrated that in Swagat restaurant, and Clay was the main speaker. And this is Jairam Komati, he was former president of Telugu Association of North America. In fact, when we formed Gandhi King Foundation way back in 2011, at that time he was the president of the Telugu Association of North America, and there was a huge convention with about 5,000-6,000 people, and there Clay addressed the inaugural session of that, and we launched Gandhi King Foundation during that Thana convention. All the people who participated, and Clay was speaking on the 2nd October, paying tributes to Mahatma Gandhi, a group meeting there. So there are all the people, and Dr. Swanti, then all the people are there. Now this is the people started arriving for the conference, Gandhi King conference, and Ila Gandhi. These are all the people from South Africa. South Africa, about 5 people with Sriram Swanti and Dr. Sharda Purna Swanti. Then we had an initial meeting, and we were recognizing, honoring our people who really worked very hard, especially Truman. I think we troubled him a lot. We were asking this question, that question, and also Elisa. In fact, we had been so happy as a team, we could all work. And in fact, my family also joined. Kranti was there, Hasil, my son was there. My daughter from Canada also came. And that is how we have enjoyed. It was like a family festival that we enjoyed. Then she's one of the great singers, a lot of playback songs, and she sang the Vaishnava Janatu, the prayer meeting. Then this is the banquet we had, and it was like a great thing to see 2 people from Gandhi family, 2 people from King family, 2 people from Cesar Chavez family, and it's all a galaxy of great people who assembled in that conference. And this is the great honor to have this Gandhi King Global Initiative with Gandhi and King. And then we had some small workshops, meetings, etc. My wife and then my daughter with myself with Martin III. This is I was with the granddaughter of Martin Luther King. Then we went the next day, that is 14th, we went to KD, that is Chavez Foundation. We met, that is Ela Gandhi met Paul Chavez, the Cesar Chavez son. So two families of great legacy, Cesar Chavez family and Gandhi family, King family, all came together. The great event with Paul. Then we moved from there to Chicago, and Chicago there is a Gandhi statue. Dr. Swanti was instrumental in having that statue. Then in Chicago, it is she is the Consul General of South Africa in Chicago. She was so admiringly seeing Clay, and she was looking forward to do a lot of programs too. And then we went to Dallas from Chicago. So Dr. Clay was honored by the Dallas Group Mahatma Gandhi Memorial of North Texas. And after that, I went to New York, met the Consul General of India there. In fact, it is he who recommended some support from Consul General of San Francisco, Indian Consul General. So he was very much instrumental and he was very kind. Then later we again went and met the Consul General of South Africa. We met the Consul General of India in Chicago. Then this is the GKGI Stanford and then Permanent Secretariat. Recently we had, now I should tell you what was happening recently here. That is COVID came. Actually, we were supposed to go to Mexico in the month of March. Because of COVID, all the movements got restricted. We are confined to home. For some time, I stayed at home. Then I said, I can't be like that. So we started online meetings. And on 7th June this year, where we were supposed to go and do a big program in South Africa, there was only online meeting in which Clay, Ela Gandhi, Gopal Krishna Gandhi and others from Gandhi family, they all participated. So that 7th June is a Sunday. From that Sunday, we have started doing every Sunday meetings. We call it Understanding Gandhi. So these programs had been going on so regularly. I will show you some details of that. Then we started Gram Swaraj, that is self-reliant villages, another program every week. Then Gandhi study classes, every week they are also happening. Gandhi study classes on Thursday, Gram Swaraj meetings on Friday, and Understanding Gandhi meetings on Sunday. And we are getting all the national level people, scholars coming and addressing. Usually the meetings are between anywhere 50 to 100 people are participating. So this is something which has given very good satisfaction, point number one. Then in the meantime, some universities came and approached us, approached Gandhi King Foundation. We want to do some international webinars so that you kindly help and coordinate. Because I had the fortune of knowing quite some people in the peace movement. So we had Clay giving the keynote address in one international webinar. We had about 320 participants. Then we did second one and a third one. So 3 international webinars we have done with Rajiv Gandhi University in Arunachal Pradesh. And all the 3 were held in the month of August itself. And on the 31st of in fact, all these webinars is in collaboration with the Gandhi King Global Initiative of Stanford University and also Gandhi King Foundation. Because this kind of collaboration, whatever we had been dreaming when we formed the GKGI, is to spread the message as widely as possible, particularly to the youth and young generation. So after the 3 programs, this month on the 31st, we are doing one more. That is with the University of Hyderabad, which is a very large university in India, and that will be from inner peace to global peace, the Gandhian perception. So like that, that will be also Dr. Carson is giving the keynote address. Then Paul de Mesquita from University of Rhode Island, he is coming. Then from Soka University, Takagi is coming. Like that, we are having a lot of people from all around. So then some 3 days back, I had a meeting with Ekaterina, the president of the Nobel Peace Summit, on online meeting, and we discussed several things. And broadly, I was making a proposal that Gandhi King Global Initiative Stanford, then global this Nobel Peace Summit, Gandhi King Foundation, together we should form some kind of a global forum to take the message of peace and non-violence, and they are willing to bring their Nobel Peace laureates. So that is one. Then youth programs we should organize through this forum. With a global youth summit we can organize. Then online classes. In fact, today I met the Vice Chancellor of the University of Hyderabad. He said, I will put our e-learning centers to you, and whatever kind of courses you want to run, you please run. So we can do Gandhi, King, Mandela, all these kind of courses with in collaboration with Stanford. We can do all this. That's what happened today. And of course, we have to do networking. I think we can go for about 15, 20 universities um, to do this kind of networking. So this is the PowerPoint I just wanted to show. I was afraid how it will behave, but I think it was quite okay. And only small thing I want to show you is regarding the recent, what is that, recent meetings that we had been organizing. I think it is also going to open. Kindly bear with another 2-3 minutes. I will close this, and then we can open up for discussion and suggestions from the members here. So we have prepared this. This is one-day international webinar on conceptualizing and contemporary of Gandhi on August 25th. So this is jointly the University of Rajiv Gandhi University, then GKGI and Gandhi King Foundation. So it is Paul D. Mesquita from that University of Rhode Island. Then the chief patron is Vice Chancellor. Then Clay, then Professor Takagi, then our David Kashbam. All these people were speakers. Then we also did a program on 6th of August, which is Hiroshima Day. And that also Clay gave the inaugural address. August 6th, Hiroshima Day. So that was observed. And the governor of Arunachal Pradesh state, he was the chief guest, and it was a really wonderful program. We had about 320 people attending that. We had 2 professors from Japan who could speak authentically on this one. Then Professor Anamik Shah from Gujarat Vidyapeeth, of course, our Jairam Komati, and so like that. It had been a participation of number of institutions. So this is how various activities are going on during this COVID time. And I think we are keeping ourselves very busy working on all these kind of things. And now there is a request from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Pondicherry University, from many, many universities. They're asking us to conduct this kind of webinars. And what I request Lisa is that, in fact, I told her earlier that we have got so many members, very scholarly members in the GKJ network. If we can prepare a list of them, and if you can please let us know who can kindly join these programs as resource persons and all that, then I can involve more and more number of people. So this is what exactly I wanted to tell you. And every week we are doing those programs, and I will send you the invitations we prepared for the previous meetings. All of that we'll say we're using this Google Meet platform, and it is going on well. So this is humbly I would like to present to all of you, and I look forward to your suggestions and any guidance that you kindly can give, any support you can give. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prasad, very much for that. And just watching it, I'm exhausted. The number of things, I'd forgotten some of those events, and I know that you have so much energy to hold all of this together. In fact, the way I conceive of the network is almost like your contact list is really the start of the network we're trying to build. So thank you so much for that summation of, gosh, it goes back almost 15 years now, just our collaboration. So thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we'll open it up for any questions or comments from the group. Feel free to take yourself off of mute and start chatting.
I am P.P. Balan from Kerala, and it's a nice presentation, and almost all aspects have been touched by Dr. Prasad. And one point is missing. Gandhi was always focusing on Gram Swaraj, and especially in India. In your presentation, in your collaboration and your activities, I could not find any word about Gram Swaraj and the empowerment of the community. So why can't you focus in this area? Because the development in India is uneven, and Gandhi's Gram Swaraj is still a distant dream. So empowering the community and getting more powers in the grassroots should be given some space in your activities, sir. Thank you.
Can I respond? Thank you very much, Balanji. And last time when you presented, you made a talk. I was also present, and I heard you with a lot of interest. And in fact, while I was talking, I told that we are doing a weekly meeting. One is the Understanding Gandhi. Every Friday we are doing Gram Swaraj meeting. Today we had a Gram Swaraj meeting, and also Gandhi study classes. Every week we are doing these 3 meetings. And coming to me and my background, I was also a professor. I resigned my job in 1987. I spent more than 30 years living in the villages. I worked in 50 villages. I have done watershed development, women income generation programs, organic farming. In fact, my wife also is right now with me. So we spent enormous time in the villages, and about 50 villages where we've been working. Even now we are doing that work. So education, health, income generation, and empowerment. I have taken about 500 people I have taken to Anna Hazare. So Anna Hazare visited our villages, and Mohan Dhareji visited our villages. In fact, personally for me, rural development is most important in my life. I spent most of my life in villages.
Prasad, I wondered if you would take a few minutes for some of the younger people in particular to explain that part of Gandhi's philosophy.
Yeah. So will they raise any question, or should I straight away talk?
Yeah, just not go deeply in it, but one of the things I recall is one of my first trips to India was for the 100th anniversary of the publication of Gandhi's earliest book. So, but many people are not familiar with that aspect of his philosophy.
That is Hindu Swaraj?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, Gandhi's philosophy and all that had been very simple. It is so simple that we cannot believe it. Because we had been accosted by a lot of ideas like materialism, education, getting into jobs, this kind of mad rush, what Gandhi called a mad rush. And Gandhi's basic postulate is Sarvodaya, that means welfare of all. He believed in welfare of all, which concept he picked up from John Ruskin, John Ruskin's book Onto This Last. So it means when everybody's welfare is important, that means everybody is equal, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, education, wealth, color of the skin, gender. All these things should not create the high and low amongst the human beings. So by birth, we are all equal because I have not chosen my birth. Therefore, by birth, every human being is equal. Then the next point is, when we talk about welfare of all, it is all welfare of all human beings. But not only the human beings, the subhuman world welfare also is important, like the animals, birds, the creatures, their welfare. And then not only that, the plants, the grasses, then all those kind, everything which is living. And it is also encompasses, Sarvodaya encompasses even the welfare of the non-living. That means can you pollute the seas, or can you pollute the rivers or lakes? Can you break all the hillocks and all that? So we are not supposed to do that, because we have come onto the planet Earth as guests. We are here maybe for 50, 60 years or maybe 100 years, and then we have to leave from here. So in that case, we have to understand that we have borrowed this earth from the posterity. And actually, if you borrow something from somebody, you have to return that along with interest. So here what we are doing is we are not adding the interest for the future generations, but we are depleting the wealth, we are just polluting everything, and environmental degradation and extinction of species, then rise of sea levels and a rise in temperatures, ozone layer depletion. If you see all these kind of things, I think we have not learned how to be a guest on this planet Earth. So we are behaving with a lot of arrogance and irresponsibility. So Gandhi talked about this earth provides enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. Because greed is something, even one person may have agreed that the entire wealth of this earth cannot fulfill his dreams or his greed. Therefore, Gandhi said, live simply so that others may simply live. So that does not mean that you are leading any unhappy life. And Gandhi chose voluntary poverty. And today nobody is there in this world who says, I want to live a poor person's life. But Gandhi said, I want to live a poor man's life. So one is simplicity, then equality of all people, and caring the all living beings, because he said all life is one, indivisibility of life. The life in you and the life in me are one and the same. The life in me and the life in the dog are the same. So where is the question of hatred? Where is the question of dislike? So we are all one. So that kind of the ever-encompassing philosophy Gandhi undertook. And Gandhi's prescriptions to believe and work in Sarvodaya means believe in that philosophy of welfare of all. He said you should control yourself. You should means Swaraj. He said Swaraj means self-rule. You must control yourself, control your mind, control the passions, passions of greed, passions of superiority, passions of exploiting. All these strange things occur into our minds. So how do you control it? So for that, Gandhi gave an 11-point formula. It is called 11 vows. So he has given wonderful prescriptions, and I can tell you there is no aspect of human life untouched by Gandhi. Every single aspect he has touched, experimented, and his autobiography is called The Story of My Experiments with the Truth. He said, I am only experimenting with the truth, and he also says that if you want to be a truth seeker, you should have certain qualities. And Gandhi says, the world crushes a dust particle under the feet. And the truth seeker should so humble himself that even the dust particle can crush him. Only then he may have a glimpse of truth. He never said you will get the truth, but perhaps you'll get a glimpse of truth. That much of humility should be there. And we always call him Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma means great soul. And Gandhi said there is not a single occasion where the word Mahatma would have tickled me. And he said, I don't have any divine qualities. I'm an ordinary human being. In fact, I am less than the lowest of the human beings. I am the lowest person. And I don't have any divine qualities. I am not a prophet. And he said, let Gandhism be destroyed if it stands for error. And he said, let no one say he is a follower of Gandhi. It is enough I be my own follower. I know how inadequate a follower I am of myself, because I do not live up to the convictions I stand for. And what kind of this thing? And this man says, so long as my faith burns bright, so long as my faith burns bright, I hope it will, even if I stand alone, I shall be alive in the grave, and what is more, speaking from it. And this man says, don't think that I am gone. I am alive. In my grave, I will be challenging the world from there. And what I am surprised is I am not able to influence anybody in my lifetime. I can't influence my daughter, my son, I can't influence. Nobody listens to me. But this man says, even after my death, I will challenge. What kind of guts this man has. I think the young generation should look to that kind, gain that kind of capability, that kind of strength, that kind of guts. That's what Gandhi's message is. And if we can really go deep into his personality, it will be fantastic.